Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rainmakers Roundup. I'm your host, Mark Iorio, and today with me is, I've got a great guest, Dana Humphrey. She's got all kinds of titles. I mean, she's CEO of Whitegate PR, the Pet Lady, and a life coach. Welcome, Dana. Great to have you on. The cool thing about you is that we've had dozens of your clients on Morning Coffee, especially in RVN over the last, I guess, year or so, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a lot about the Pet Lady. Oh my God, you have such a funny sizzle reel. It's so cute. But let's talk about that, Dana. You're trained as a communications expert, a PR person. You went to college for that. But you got into the pet business, and the rest, I guess they say, is history. So let's talk about that for a moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was studying public relations and political science, and our family dog, Winston, the pug, moved in with me as my parents moved to Thailand. And so my first job out of college was doing public relations for a pet company. It was actually called Muttropolis. And and I was doing all their PR and marketing, and I got to bring Winston to work with me, and it was a great situation. And that's really how I started my career. So when I went out on my own to launch Whitegate PR, I decided to kind of focus on the pet space.
Right. And so most of your clients are in the pet products business, right? And so let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of clients do you have? What kind of products do you have, or do you promote? And how does that sort of work?
So the pet industry is an $85 billion industry. It's bigger than candy, movies, and video games combined.
Wow.
And, a lot of times people think like, oh, pets, that's so cute, that's so fun. But it's a big business. Baby boomers are and empty nesters now have their kids out of the house, and they're spending all their devoted time and energy and money on their beloved pets. And it's been a really growing sector for the last 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really when I got into it. And most of my clients are pet product manufacturers. So they make dog beds, treats, special grooming items, shampoo, all the bells and whistles that any, well taken care of pet would need. So we work a lot with dog and cat products. Mm-hmm. So it really runs the spectrum. And I've also worked with a lot of pet experts. So we've worked with a celebrity dog groomer, and that was a lot of fun. And he's still a dear, dear friend of mine. And lots of different veterinarians, holistic veterinarians, specialist type veterinarians, home veterinarians. So, along the way, I've really had an opportunity to learn a lot about pet care and learning straight from the experts and, how is the best way to take care of your pet. And, it's been a fun ride.
Yeah. You certainly are very, very passionate about it. It's really fun. I would encourage people to go to your, not right now after the interview, but go to your YouTube channel and see some of your interviews. You are just the funniest person and so passionate about the products that you're helping promote. I've watched you interview some pretty cool people. Talk a little bit about that. Before you answer that question, Dana, it's amazing to me that when you look at pet owners, they could be celebrities, they could be just everyday people, but they just have a different way of doing things when they interact with their pets. They become, in a weird way, human. I mean, because they're very, very approachable.
Yeah, that is just so true. At the end of the day, no matter what, big job that someone has or how important they are at their office, they come home and, they get on the floor and roll around with their dog, you know,
Right.
and that dog kind of unifies us in a really humble, in a humble way.
Yeah.
Something that, you know, the celebrity dog groomer, his name is Jorge. Something that he always told me is he works with a lot of celebrities. That's why he's a celebrity dog groomer.
Yeah.
And one of them's Ralph Lauren. At the end of the day, Ralph Lauren still comes home and rolls around on the floor with his dog just like everyone else. And that's such a beautiful thing that pets can do, is really kind of bring us back to what's important and what's, you know, why we're here to, you know, have fun and play and be well and kind of embrace those moments. And, you know, it also happens at the dog park. You know, people know each other's dogs' names, but they don't even know each other's names. And there's a whole culture, you know, around connecting around the pet.
You know, they always seem to bring a smile to your face, and there's such a bond there. You know, we walk the dog around the block. You know, people, you could be walking by yourself, and people don't really acknowledge you. But when we have the dog with us, it's like, you know, the ice is broken, and they're able to, you know, people are communicating differently. Or I don't know why, but you know, pets just have a different way of bringing people together. It's so cool. It's so cool to watch you get so passionate about some of these products that you're promoting. Talk a little bit about those products, Dana. What types of products are you promoting? I know you said earlier that, you know, it goes from shampoo to dog beds and stuff like that, but talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we work with different interesting things. For example, you know, one year I was working with a company called Madrimore Mud, and they actually do mud baths for dogs.
Okay.
And so, you know, everything that's for humans now, there's a way to somehow pamper your pet with it. So, you know, I wanted to do a demonstration of the mud bath on live TV.
Right.
So I had a French bulldog with me, and the Frenchie. So we were at, you know, a local TV station in San Diego, and we had the table set up, and we had the bucket. And so I took the French bulldog and I put him in the bucket, and there was a little bit of water in there so we could do the mud bath. As soon as he got in the bucket, he sprung up into the air and started doing, you know, laps, crazy dog laps around the table. And the host, you know, was dressed like you, full, you know, suit and tie, you know, very professional. And he just grabs the wet dog, puts him back in the bucket, and we were able to continue with the mud bath. And, you know, it was a special, you know, product where there was like this, you know, mud from the Dead Sea, and
Right.
blueberry extract and all these great things for their skin and coat. And you put it on their fur and let it dry a little bit, and then you wash it off.
Okay.
But you know, yeah, in addition to just your everyday kind of food and treats, we have worked with like a lot of interesting products of, you know, different pet people, you know, coming up with inventions.
Yeah.
That's really why I love the pet industry so much, is the people. The people who are in the pet industry are really passionate. They love what they do. They really care about their animals.
Yep.
They're trying to solve some problems. They really think out of the box. They get creative and try to, you know, come up with a solution that hasn't been thought of before.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, one of the more bizarre products that we were working with is it was called Poochie, and it was actually like a big clip that you could clip onto the back of your dog's tail, and then it had a little bag like underneath to catch the poop. So that was an interesting one. You know, they had you know, so every time you reuse the clip and do the little bag. But that's the thing, is a lot of times people are trying to solve the poop problem.
Right.
And, you know, I find it's really not that big of a problem for pet owners. You know, pet owners don't get a dog being super squeamish that they're going to have to pick up their poop.
Right. Exactly.
Part of the deal, you know. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, they're out there trying to, I guess people are trying to invent things that, or develop things that they're really not needed. Unfortunately, with dogs or cats, you can't go go to a focus group and say, what would you like, what was your dog's name? Winston?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
like
right.
little Winston, like, what would you like, Winston? I mean, what kind of a treat would you like? But no, it's really funny. And that mud bath scene on your sizzle reel is hilarious because you're right. That I was watching that last night and I'm sitting there cracking up. My wife's saying to me, "What are you looking at?" I said, you got to see this. I mean, it was pretty comical. And then to think about the fact that this dog it wasn't really fully immersed in the mud yet, was it, or was it?
No, I mean, yeah, we had a very minimal water,
In the tub,
trying
right?
to create, a lot of mess. But just a little bit of water kind of like sprung him into action. And, that's the thing. I always work with a lot of different animals. So depending on what city I'm in, I might ask a friend or I might work with a local shelter to get a dog or a cat to come on set with me. So, it's really about being in the moment and responding to their body language because I didn't know that Frenchie that well. So he's, I don't know what he's thinking. He's like, great, the pet lady's all of a sudden giving me a mud bath? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm out. I'm jumping out of this tub. Lady, you think you're going to give me a mud bath? It's not happening right now. How do you, Dana? How do you find new clients? Where do they come from?
Well, in the pet industry, there's two major pet trade shows that happen. One's in Florida called Global Pet Expo, and one is in Vegas called Super Zoo.
Okay.
And I've been going to those for many, many years. And so I represent my clients at those, and we mainly take media and bring them to our clients' booths. So a lot of times, the neighbors of my clients are usually intrigued by what I'm doing. And I usually get a couple of neighbors on board after a big trade show. But yeah, it's pretty much all word of mouth.
Okay.
At this point, there are other people who do public relations specifically in the pet industry.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 5 different companies that do that. We're all kind of friends. We all like each other and would help each other out.
Nice.
And that's another thing I really love about the pet space. It's very collaborative.
Yeah.
But even though it's an $85 billion industry, it's a small industry too. It's a small world. We all kind of know each other, and I get a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
So that's I usually work with clients anywhere from a couple of months to a couple of years,
mm-hmm.
and so we really get to know each other. And I've been really lucky that my clients help me toot the horn and share with other pet product manufacturers.
Yeah. What do you?
I would say.
Go ahead, Dana.
One other thing is that I also have been a professor at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology, in the Pet Product Marketing Department.
Yeah.
And so it's continuing education. So the students that come to that program, it's a 2-year program, are usually a little bit older. They've had their careers in fashion, now they have a dog, and now they're thinking they want to get into the pet industry. So I taught a class called Who's Who in the Pet Industry and Pet Product Marketing 101.
Wow.
And so because of those courses, I also met a lot of people looking to break into the pet space and have had the pleasure of working with some of those students in a client relationship as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So you've got a sort of a different network there. You've got the trade shows and you've got word of mouth in the pet industry, and then you're going outside in the higher education area and pulling prospects, I guess, or clients from there as well. Tell us a little bit about how you would approach a new client, Dana. What is the what's the process? How do I get started if I have a pet product and I come to the pet lady?
Well, Basically we start out with a exploratory phone call, just learning about what the product is and making sure it's not competitive with any of the other clients that we represent.
Yep.
And understanding where they're at, if they are going to be selling direct to consumer, if they want to sell in the independent retail chain, or how they're going to be selling their product, if it's ready. Sometimes people come to me and they're not ready, the product's still being developed or still patent pending or something like that.
Yeah.
So as long as their product's ready and it's ready for consumers to buy or retailers to buy, then we could start working with them. And basically we gather information. We identify who the spokesperson in the company is going to be, whether it's the inventor or maybe they have a pet expert like a veterinarian, or that helped develop the formula. And we make sure they're ready for different types of interviews like this, TV or radio or podcasts.
Right.
And we get some samples of the product, if there is one, and we write a press release. And really the way that we work with our clients, it's not really about the number of press releases. Sometimes people say, well, how many press releases do we get? And we're really based on media relations and media results and media hits. And so for all of our clients, I guarantee that we will get them at least 3 media placements per month. So there's some PR firms that have no guarantees, months go by and nothing happens. And we really guarantee that the client will get at least 3 media placements. And so if we write one press release and it gets a lot of traction and get a lot of yeses, I'll keep using that as long as we can.
Sure.
We might write a press release about, 4th of July pet safety tips and think it's the best thing ever and send it out and get zero reaction.
Right.
And it's time for a fresh perspective, a fresh angle. Or fresh spin on it. So we'll write another one.
Yeah. And I'm sure as a result of your being in the business for a long time, a lot of these publishers and editors are probably looking for information coming from you because they know it's going to be solid and topical and good content. So they're going to want to publish it as best they can, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of finding your niche and staying in it. Because I focus on the pet industry. Yeah. When different editors or reporters have a pet story they're working on, a lot of times they do come to me. And whether I have a client or someone I've worked with in the past that I can send to them to fit their needs, I'm happy to do that because I want them to continue to come to me for those questions.
Right. Right. We're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk to Dana Humphrey about being the pet lady. Right back after a message from our sponsors.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want
a home.
I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Iorio. I'm the host of Rainmakers Roundup right here on RVN TV. The show is about looking for people who are in competitive businesses that are doing something different and unique in the world of sales and marketing. Join me right here on Rainmakers Roundup on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. and then again on Thursday evenings at 6:30 p.m. right here on RVN TV. Welcome back to Rainmakers Roundup. I'm your host, Mark Iorio, and I've got the pet lady with me. Pretty famous lady, actually, Dana Humphrey is. I mean, she's all over the darn place. You've got to watch her sizzle reel. It's on YouTube. It is funny, and it's kind of moving in a lot of ways because of your passion for for pets, Dana. It's really good to see. And a lot of times, you tell people this, but they really don't maybe take this advice. You love what you do. You really love what you do, and you can see it. Your smile, you're energetic. It's just when you come out on stage or you're on live television or whatever, you just see it. So talk about that passion. Where does it really come from, and how you just look happy all the time?
Well, it's I get a lot of sleep. I like to move my body, and pets bring a lot of joy. Pets bring a lot of joy to my life. I'm a smush-based dog person. I personally like pugs and Frenchies, and there's a Boston Terrier who lives in my building, and his name is Jiminy. And Jiminy and I have this very special bond. His parents are always like, oh, Jiminy really likes you. And I'm like, yeah, we have a thing. Jiminy's my friend. While I like all dogs, there's, certain ones stand out, and, we have a special bond, and they help us live in the moment. And, I find them to be really fun and bring a lot of pleasure. So I love hanging around with dogs.
Yeah, I'll bet. So do I, especially certain types of dogs. I mean, there's something that happens to your heart, your soul, or whatever when you're around specific, in my case, dogs. I've never been a real big cat fan, but that's just me. It's my, feeling, my personal feeling about things. Dana, how has the COVID-19 pandemic, the virus, sort of affected your business and the industry itself? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely things have changed, right? And a lot of what I do is, tell my client's story to the media. And so right now, mainly the media is covering stories around COVID and around racism. Mm-hmm. So my clients that have been progressive in really being able to shift to tell those stories or come up with solutions for those topics have done well, and we continue to work with them. Usually we have anywhere from 10 to 15 clients. With COVID, that definitely dropped. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we also took on a few new clients for different things. So for example, there's a company out of Oregon that is made in the USA, pet products, and they really wanted to do a survey to learn how pet retailers would better understand their products. And so we've done a whole survey campaign with them, doing an online survey and doing a focus group and utilizing this time of maybe slowdown to gather information for them. So that's kind of like a shift that has happened because of COVID, of kind of doing a little bit of different things. We also have one client, actually, Bow Wow Labs, that has been doing extremely well. It's a subscription-based model for bully sticks, which is something that dogs chew on. Okay. So as more and more people are working from home, and they're trying to do Zoom meetings and conference calls, and the dogs are barking or, doing their dog thing that doesn't really, work that well for a conference call, the Bully Buddy, which Bow Wow Labs makes, helps dogs safely chew on a bully stick. So they have been doing 30% month after month since COVID started. Wow. Increase. So they've been doing extremely well. Meanwhile, other companies, it just depends on what the product is and how people need it. Yeah. So, that product's available on Amazon. And so that's also a leg up, I think, during this COVID time, is a lot of people have been turning to Amazon to, do some spending and get things, as quickly as possible. So we've had a few clients who, are doing great, and a few that have had to kind of scale back. And, we'll see what happens. Also, we were working with a cat company that really wanted to keep engaging their community. So, cat people are more typically at home, maybe a little bit more introverted. So they were coming up with solutions on how people could take better care of their cats through, like educational material via video that people could consume from home. And so really continuing to engage the community while, while this COVID pandemic is underway.
Right, right. Are you seeing or hearing in the industry, there's pet insurance now. There's a lot of new drugs being developed, clinical trials being developed, for pets, both large and small animal. What are you hearing in terms of some of these drugs that are being developed, and then some of this pet insurance? I know it's not exactly what you do and part of your business, but when you have your ear to the floor in terms of what's going on out there, how much progress has the pet industry? Yeah.
There has been a lot of misinformation around, do pets get COVID, right? I've been kind of tracking that, and I've seen recently even masks for dogs. And I think it's still an unknown. I think there's not enough research or information for us to know if dogs or cats can get it. There are a few, I follow the pet industry news, and I have seen that there's a few cases of dogs and cats that they think have COVID.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's going to spark into a race to a vaccine for animals, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the pharmaceutical side of things for pets is a huge piece of the puzzle, from solutions for, flea and tick to heartworm to, all the different potential problems that pets can get. And so, a lot of pets are on different prescriptions. And what I kind of see more trending now is, a lot of veterinarians were deemed essential. And so a lot of veterinarians that might even still be in business right now are still open to see pets, are sending them to online pharmacies. So that's something that's happening is pet parents are getting their pet prescriptions filled online, and that's probably not going to stop after this.
Right.
Once people kind of switch from getting their medications from their vet office to online, once they realize, how simple and easy it is, that's going to be a trend that continues to pick up, I believe.
Yep.
And pet insurance is a huge industry, and it's really important. I would recommend to anyone getting a new pet these days to definitely invest in the pet insurance, whether you're getting a dog or a cat. I mean, some great news that's happened during this COVID time is that foster organizations, people that have dogs and cats to foster, are completely sold out.
Yeah.
They're empty. The shelters are empty. People, wanted to have a companion animal during this time and not be alone.
Absolutely.
So that's been a really positive part of, this situation. And, I think people are going to, continue to search for things, online, and do maybe more of their own research.
Absolutely.
And just blind trust.
We're coming down to the last bit of the show here. We've got another minute left, maybe, but I wanted to ask you who or what inspires you, Dana? Where does that come from? Where does that inspiration come from?
I really, I do get inspired by my clients, that, a lot of them are inventors, and I do get inspired by them and their passion for what they're creating. But I have to say, I get a lot of my inspiration on the dance floor. In regular times when I can go out dancing, You know, a lot of things click for me and a lot of problems get solved, and I get new ideas from, you know, the title of a press release to, you know, something new that I'm going to create. And so I get a lot of ideas when I'm dancing, and that's my main source of inspiration.
That is cool. That is cool. I had a lot of fun. This was great. I love talking to you about about pets, Pet Lady. Tell us a little bit more about how to get in touch with you and your business, Dana, please.
Sure. Well, I love LinkedIn. As you know,
Yes.
you can find me on LinkedIn, Dana Humphrey. You can also find me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. You can search Dana Humphrey, the Pet Lady, and you're probably sure to find me.
Absolutely.
And I'll be launching a life coaching business soon that you can check out at danahumphrey.com.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see that. Dana, this has been great. Thanks so much for joining us on RVN TV's Rainmakers Roundup. Have a wonderful and safe week, and we'll see you next time. Keep those clients coming to RVN TV. Thanks so much for that. The Pet Lady, Dana Humphrey. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Rainmakers Roundup. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful and safe week, everyone. Take care.